can you tell me how much COVID cash went to CRT?
CRT?
Critical race theory in education. It's a racist curriculum used to teach children that somehow their white skin is not equal to black skin and other things in education.
Yeah.
No, it's not. That's stupid. That's nonsense. The idea that she is in a committee, let alone there to question Gene Dodaro, the comptroller general of the US and head of the GAO, is ridiculous. The idea that she can simply assert objectively false things about a graduate curriculum is absolutely insane. But as bad as all of that is, it actually gets worse, because bear in mind, she doesn't know anything about literally anything. And that, when you talk constantly with a camera in front of you, can come out. So take a look at what happened when she continued.
No, I do not know that, but I do know that there's provisions that the federal funds generally are not used, are supposed to be used for curriculum.
Oh,
that's a state.
Oh, Mr. Dodaro, I have to tell you, in Illinois, they received $5.1 billion at an elementary school there that used it for equity and diversity. So it's being used for these things.
Okay, so that's about the worst use of your time in a committee like that. So she asks a question of an actual expert. He responds with, like, I don't know what you're talking about. You don't seem to know what you're talking about. And then we get to, oh, she wasn't really asking him a question. She wanted to cite a statistic, which would be kind of annoying rhetorically if the statistic was true. But I'm gonna blow your mind right now. You might be thinking, oh, $5.1 billion for CRT at one elementary school in Illinois? Would you believe that that isn't true? Because we looked into it. Turns out, as crazy as it is, that's not actually true. They didn't actually give one school in Illinois $5.1 billion to teach people that their white skin isn't as good as black skin or whatever. You know what because obviously there was a lot of criticism towards her because that's absurd and buffoonish. And so the right has rallied and tried to figure out, okay, how do we defend this? So what they've come up with is, there was $5.1 billion that went to all primary and secondary education in Illinois. And some of that cash might, they have no idea what percentage, might have gone towards the general topic of diversity and inclusion. Because in the charter of schools, that's a thing that they're supposed to pay attention to. So all of the schools got some money. And maybe some, we have no idea how much or if any went specifically to that, but even that wouldn't be CRT. This is so wildly far from the claim that she's making. But these right wingers, because they've decided that she's their champion, have to twist themselves into pretzels to try to make sense of the nonsense that she barfs out into these committee hearings. Maz, what do you think?
Well, you know, Professor Greene really outdid herself this time. This shows you what happens when you get someone who's really not qualified to be in this position, She really is, I mean, she's really dumb and she's got a staff, and you would think somebody in the staff would at least, if I'm her, and I'm not saying I'm some intellectual, but at least I would hire some people that were good at doing research and really getting me the facts so that when I'm in front of these cameras, I could really drop knowledge and be factual. Now, the problem that we're living in right now is facts don't matter for this party. And so she says what she wants. Her constituents will say, oh, good, you went after CRT. They don't even know what CRT is. As you said, they don't know that it's a graduate level of courses that had started that was talking about systemic racism in this country. For some reason, there's some people in America who don't want to know the bad news. These are people who only want to go to comedies, and they're like, don't show me any dramas. And you're like, but life is filled with drama. And they go, no, I just want the comedies. And you go, comedy's great, but how about a little bit of drama? Because America has a bad history. And we need to know the history so we don't repeat that history. As an Iranian American, I used to always complain about how you don't learn in America. We don't learn a lot about America's involvement with other countries, like Iran, overthrowing a democratically elected leader in 1953, like in South America, like in other parts of the world, our involvement. We don't learn about that. But I never thought that we were gonna be so averse to learning about our own history within our own country, which is all of the horrible things that were done to people of color throughout our history. And we should know that. And that doesn't make white people bad. It just means let's know our history. And so you've got these people who've really gotten their constituents to think that they're fighting for them by going after CRT. And I'm surprised she even knew how to get those letters out. I hope next time she goes, have you heard of TLC? And he goes, what? The band from the 90s. Yeah. They were black and they were trying to spread propaganda. Don't go chasing waterfalls. What does that mean? That means white people go chasing waterfalls. That's some racist crap. I mean, that's just how crazy it is. If I were in Congress saying what I just said, there's people in her district who would say, that's right. Chasing waterfalls was racist against white people. So stupid.
Maz, if you wanted to, you could get elected. You could just do a pivot and get elected. Like, obviously mocking these people to their face, but telling them the ridiculous things they want to hear. That would be funny. It could be part of like a long form comedy thing, a documentary. Anyway, yeah, absolute nonsense. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And the fact that she got 184,000, I think, in free money from that same pandemic fund that she's pretending to care about the waste in. She just got that money, was handed to her, and she didn't have to pay it back. And that's not even a lot for a Republican congressperson. A bunch of them did. This would seem hypocritical, but it's not even going to be mentioned in any of this. So if there was waste, they should find it. The waste was not CRT in an elementary school in Illinois. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.